choose your gender role, then you make a decision to live into that gender role. So who in here, in this room, would prefer, you can do both, but would prefer to play the role of empathizer? Raise your hand. One. Okay.
Could you explain empathizer? I think that would change my mind too.
Okay. Keep in mind that you're going to be attracting women who are the opposing gender role. So you're going to be attracting provider, protector women, not necessarily protecting you from harm, but a lot of women who are provider, protector women who prefer to play the provider, protector role are very confused about that. So you're going to have a lot of very gender confused women you're going to pull into your life. I hope you're okay with that. If you're okay with that, then choose that gender role and go. It's okay. As long as you're willing to work with that, that's good. It's okay. You know, there's no wrong answer here. You know, but know that that's what you're getting into whenever you do it ahead of time. That way you're not like, I wanted to do this, but no, it's horrible. Because all these women that I don't like are coming to me, right? You don't know yet? Okay, it's okay. Don't have to do it right now. I prefer that you did, but you'll probably change your mind as we keep talking about this. Because someone, because we're so physically wired though to play our traditional gender role, women are also physically wired to play their traditional gender role. And the amount of women that have stepped out of that wiring are slim compared to the amount of women that have already that play into that wiring. Same thing with men. The majority of men play into the wiring of the male gender role. You know, they play into it. So, if you really do want to be an empathizer, one thing you probably do is attract a lot of lesbians who were lesbians before, and maybe they're bi, and they're typically not like the super physically dominant one, but they're just the one who typically takes the lead, makes decisions, and they like doing that. So you may end up doing that. So you might want to explore hanging out with lesbians a lot, because it'll help you understand what it really means to find someone who's comfortably playing the male gender role as a woman. And that will be the kind of women that you want to be around. You know? So type 4 is going to be confused about this anyway, Joe. You know why? Because your key strength is sensitivity, and you associate that with empathy. And so you think you're going to play the female gender role because of it, which is why you're gender confused in the first place. Gender confusion just means that you don't know which one.
There's also some confusion because men are naturally wired to be dominant, and most have confusion about what it is, so they do it poorly.
Right.
And then most women are naturally physically wired to be submissive, and then they have bad associations with the wording of it because of feminism and all that, so they end up trying not to be, and trying to be provided and get all confused about it.
A lot of women are actually angry that they are forced to play a gender role they don't want to. A lot of women are angry that they're forced to play a gender role they don't want to. So they feel like if you are pretending to be an empathizer, and that's what you're pretending like that's what you want, then they are at some point forced to be provider protector models, play the provider protector gender role. So, anyway, if you're willing to if you're not put up with, that's not even the right word, if you're willing to accept the challenge of filtering out and understanding the process of the type of woman you're going to be attracting, and you're cool with it, especially Yusuf, since you raised your hand and it looks like you're actually pretty sure about this, then cool. That means a lot of the traditional concepts of, now dominance is different, you can still be dominant, of course, but the leadership part of your relationship and the relationship balance scale is going to be down for you. And you want a woman that's up. That's it. And you want a woman that wants to be in that position. Most women say they do and they don't. That's going to be your biggest challenge. Because women will say, I want to control everything. And you go, oh great, because I don't want to, so here you go. And they're like, they're going to start being mean to you. You know? Because they're going to blame you for making them play the male gender role in their heads. So you got to be very clear about what kind of women are actually confidently playing the provider protector role, and which women are just doing it out of default because they're insecure. That's going to be big for you. You know, there's a lot about that. is Milton. Milton can tell you immediately.
At the very end, I will talk a little more about it
Okay.
and about how you read that.
Mhm.
How
Yeah.
you read what gender role they are playing,
Mhm.
and how you detect that it's not what they really are.
Right. And this is also a really powerful cold reading technique. I've had a lot of girls play tough around me, and once you get to where you can read their gender role, if they're playing tough and they don't want to, you can literally walk up to them and go, hey, I have a question. I hope you don't mind me asking this question. It's kind of a personal question, but does anybody else know that you're actually submissive? I won't tell anybody, but has anyone ever noticed that about you? And they'll go, deer in headlights. They'll go, how do you know that? No one knows that about me. At all, ever. There was a girl once that was playing the female gender role up front, and her body language, deep down, hidden in her body language, was the male gender role. And I walked up to her and I said, hey, I have a question for you. It's kind of random. We're in the middle of a club. She goes, go ahead. And I go, does anybody else know that you're a tomboy? And she was floored. Floored. She was like, not even my boyfriend knows that. Nobody knows that. I could tell because she took up more space than she needed to with her feet when she was pouring a bottle. She was
What?
She was pouring a bottle of vodka, and she was doing this. And I was like, And you could tell the dress she was wearing was foreign to her. She was wearing this thing. She wasn't wearing a dress. She had this thing on. That's how she felt, you know. So she felt like, I'm wearing this thing now. And it came off in her body language. So when I walked up and said, does anyone else know you're a tomboy? It was like immediate, deep rapport. And super curiosity. Like I skipped every stage you possibly could skip. But I broke off away from it because it's really scary. If you accept her and you stay there in that moment, she will attach all of that acceptance she's been looking for her entire life to you. And I didn't want that to happen. So I walked off. I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to tell anybody. I don't think anybody else notices. But I just, I noticed it because this is what I do. I want to qualify myself a little bit. I want to be like, I'm not just a normal person, so everyone's not staring at you pointing because I know it's what you're afraid of. Because if I was a girl and I was secretly if I was secretly a tomboy trying to be feminine and dainty, the worst thing in the universe would be that everyone finds out and they all point at me and laugh. So I'd make sure that I call that out. What do you say, Yusuf?
What's acceptance of that? You say it's cute, or do you say?
I think it's I would just say exactly that. I think it's either cute, but if it's cute, then she might not believe it because she's like, no, I don't believe that at all. But all these negative beliefs around this. But I usually go, by the way, I don't. Maybe no one's told you this, and you might not believe it, but it's actually okay if you're a tomboy. A lot of guys, including myself, are attracted to women that are like this. So, just so you know, I don't expect you to change right now or anything, but just so you know, it's okay. And then that's like, thank you. And then I usually go, all right, I'm gonna go. I'll talk to you in a little bit. And she's just like, wow, I left her better than I found her. That's the whole goal of this place. You have a question or something?
Yeah,
Is that
so
going on?
let's start to this. So if you were to think that's cute, then that's a good indicator.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to take on the empathetic gender, right?
Wait, say that again? Sorry.
If you think that, if you're saying that to the girl,
Saying what?
accepting her, and you like that about her, then you're accepting the female gender role.
Yeah, but that's okay because I'm not.
That's a good indicator to know which gender role you're accepting.
Right. Well, yeah, but just relating to somebody doesn't mean that you're accepting the female gender role. It's the default of wanting to only relate to people that makes you a female gender role, and not to provide and protect for them. Not to provide and protect for them. It's the default of that makes you the empathetic female gender role. It's the default of only wanting to provide and protect and not wanting to empathize that makes you want to play the new male gender role, social provider, social protector gender role. This is very key, very, very important, especially for attracting the right kind of woman to you in your life. When women see you, they automatically, subconsciously log your gender role. Though it sits in their head right next to the real place that their real preferred gender role sits. Then when they start talking to you and they start using their logical brain to do it, though, if they are pretending to want to play the male gender role, they're going to butt heads with you a whole bunch in the beginning. Unless you accept them for being dainty and say, it's okay, you can do this. It's okay. I like it. I like whenever you are dainty and small. My girlfriend is a lot like this. She's in her whole life she's been playing the default of the social provider, social protector, kind of everything. I'm a strong woman. Get out of here. You know? And what makes a man stronger than her is a man who can say, look, this is who I am. I really am the person you're pretending to be. And I like the part of you that's behind all of it, that you're hiding. I want that part to come out. Let it out one time and see if you like it. Let it out for me. And the way that you do that is to say things like, or I would say things like, we'd have conversations literally like, I really love it whenever you are feminine and fragile around me, because it makes me feel like I can step up and be a man, which is what I live for. I live to do that. I live for that moment. And whenever you give me the opportunity to make that moment happen, I will do it and I will feel like a man. It will make me feel good. And she will most likely tell you, yeah, whenever you open up and you tell me things that bother you, and you open up to me, I feel like I can step up and be a woman. A woman. That's how she's going to associate it. I can be a woman for real. And I love it when you do that. When you tell me about the things that bother you, when you let me help you walk you through that process. If you're too tough and you don't open up, you will not let women play the female gender role. They will not be able to feel like women around you. That's why it's really important to understand the power of rapport. It's also important not to take it lightly. And it's also important not to control it too much. If you control it too much, you're taking the need for a woman away and out of your life. And she won't have any place in your life. So whenever we walk up, we want to bring something to the table. Here's the thing I'm bringing to the table. Here's the thing I'm bringing to the table. Here it is. My gender role. And if they walk up and they're like, oh, I had the same thing. You're like, what am I doing here then? Why do I need to be here? And honest.
What would someone like Grace or Kelly be playing?
They're both playing the traditional, the new male gender role. Both of the guys. Especially, you can tell especially because their entire lives are around building social circles. Building social circles to provide for them. Kelly especially is a very big social provider. Race is more focused on social protecting. You know, but he does both. Both of them do both of those things. And I am more focused. Do you have another part of the question as well?
Yeah, I'm confused about which one actually.
Want to play?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I like to empathize with women. I'm a lover, so I'm very emotional. So, but I also want to provide and protect.
Well, if you had to choose one, she's still going to empathize with you, and you're still going to feel that when it happens. But if you had to pick one, and only one, which would you pick?
Either being emotional.
No, not being emotional. This is where your disconnect is. It's not about being emotional. That's a completely different system altogether. That's a different dimension altogether from this. Being an emotional person, you're probably like Joe. Joe's probably a type 4 on the Enneagram, and you're probably a type 4 on the Enneagram, which means you both feel like the world dealt you a hand of cards that you don't really feel like you deserve, you want better, and you drown your sorrows in something. You drown them in something. And whenever you do drown them in something, what you do is you go, this will make my little world happen. The world that I have in my head will be here. The one that I really wanted, that I think it should be, will be a reality if I drown my sorrows in this thing. Sometimes it's drugs. Sometimes it's not. Hold on. And so you associate a lot of emotion because you're probably melancholy. And so you associate your entire identity with that feeling of empathizing. So you're going to automatically have a hard time choosing between everything you do in your entire life and your entire purpose and being a man. Because that's how it feels like. It feels like you're saying, okay, well, I can either give up my reason for living, or I can be a man. God, it's such a hard decision. But it's not the same. Women feel like they're more, like their gender role is fulfilled more when they can open you up and draw out of you emotion. That's what an empathizer does. Draws out emotion. Doesn't emote at you. That's not the female gender role. Female gender role is not emoting at somebody. It's drawing emotion out of them and accepting that emotion. That's empathy. Empathy is taking it in. If I empathize with someone who is, let's say, I'm going through a really hard time because their parents died, right? If I'm empathizing with someone whose parents died, that means that I am feeling what they feel. If I sympathize, it means I feel for them, not with them. I feel bad for you means I sympathize with you. I'm bawling my eyes out as you bawl your eyes out. Means I'm empathizing with you. Right? Okay?
I tend to sympathize with them.
That doesn't mean anything. You can do either one. But, one second. But I know it's confusing for the type 4s in the room because, again, it's like your life purpose is there. But you have to separate this. Whenever you start to build a muscle, your muscle gets acute, small muscles get stronger too. The little corrector muscles. When you're a little kid and you want to point at something, how do you point at it? With your whole hand, with your whole arm points that way. And then whenever you get a little bit smarter, you start doing this. To draw attention that you want something. And when you get even smarter, you learn how to do this with your finger. Just one finger. And that's the sign that says, I want that thing. Right? Then you learn even more. Even smarter muscles, you learn how to say that, I want that thing. You learn the name for that thing. So right now you guys are seeing your emotion as having one dimension. You're seeing it as an arm pointing at something. But there's another dimension of that. I'm saying you want to separate, understand the two as two different things. Understand the two as two different things. And the way that you do that is you become aware that there are two parts. There's the empathizing, drawing emotion out of people. That's the female gender role. Then there's the general desire to feel, which is not your gender role. That has nothing to do with your gender role. Good?
I was wondering, what's the difference between a social provider and a social protector?
What's the difference between them?
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't have one or the other most likely. But the social provider would be somebody who surrounds himself or builds a social circle in order to give something. And that thing could be money, could be house, could be prestige. Prestige is really what it all is in the first place. It allows them to get things, tangible, food, whatever it is, by being social, right? And the providers can be small, can be weak, but no one screws with them because they have a lot to lose. If you're CEO of a really big company, everyone in your company is going to feel like you are a massive social protector. So this one, protector. Because if someone walks up to you and hits you, who's employed by you, you can take everything away from them. So you don't need to worry about being hurt by people who are within your company, if you're most likely, because they usually have more to lose than you do. That's what it's about now. It's not about, because if that was the case, hell, and who would be teaching this class? Joe probably, or Yusuf, because they're both really strong. That's how it would be, and it wouldn't be about about me being up here being the valuable one. In the class, it'd be about how to be bigger. There'd be weights in the room. And knives.
And you would value, you would respect the guys by the size of his hands.
Yep. Which we do already, of course. So, that is an interesting concept, and when you think about it, you have to create a void, though. You have to create a void. If you're going to be a social provider, social protector, you have to stop drawing emotion out of people. Stop drawing emotion out of people. Okay? That can't be your purpose in life, to draw emotion out of people.
What do you mean? I'm sorry.
So, tell me how you feel.
Okay.
No. No, what am I doing?
So why did you naturally, like a good part of your journey this far has been studying rapport? So I get the impression that you were fascinated by that.
Mhm.
Why do you think that's the case if you're naturally on the other corner? Because I understand you're not drawing it out when you're typically going the first pass, right? But then I know they reciprocate.
Yeah.
And is that why? Just answer my question.
Ask yourself another question, and I think you'll get the answer to this. Ask yourself what my purpose in life is. What's driving everything that I do? What is it? It's efficiency. Efficiency is driving everything I do. What's the most efficient way to get what I want? That's what's driving everything. And what do I want? I want a family. That's what I want. I want a wife, I want kids, I want a house. I'm passionate about what I love and what I do. I want to get paid for it, of course. The most efficient way to do that is going to be able to make a connection, emotional connection, because then I become something that's worth something to somebody. That's why I studied so much rapport. You know? But you can have a different reason for studying rapport. If you got fixated on rapport, it might be because that would mean that you could draw emotion out of somebody. Or you could emote better. It wasn't really about emoting better for me. I already knew how to feel already, but that wasn't even about it for me. My life wasn't driven by being sensitive to people, other people, understanding things. I can do that. I'm very good at doing that. But it wasn't my fixation. So it didn't drive me there. My intention was to be more efficient. And I'm okay with that, of course. Everyone's different with that. And looking back on it now, I recognize that. I didn't recognize it then. I'll tell you that. If I recognized it then, I would have been like, why am I doing this? You know, this is weird. Holy crap. You know, understanding your Enneagram type is like, it is a mindfuck and a half. It's crazy. So, okay, I'm going to move on from gender roles. If you have any questions about gender roles that you want to ask, write them down and we'll get to them later. Move on next to, do you guys understand how this is hacking your meta? This is a big overarching concept that's going to overarch everything in your life. Everything. And all the attraction, rapport, seduction, body language, all the rest of the things that we talked about are going to be overarched by your gender role. That's why it was important to teach hacking your meta last day of the class. So, next let's talk about insecurities. Let's talk about insecurities next. Very briefly. You okay, Joe? I know you just went through a lot of crazy stuff in your head, so I just want to make sure that because both you and Adonis are going to be a little, like, have a little argument in your heads.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes. So until you realize what you now realize is that it's okay that your drive is you're probably a type 4. I don't know for sure yet. If you are, then your major drive is to feel emotion. Adonis, you can identify with that, I know. If you just try to feel emotion for a second, you'll realize if you feel about this.
That would mean that I'm going for the female gender?
No, that's not what it means. It has nothing to do with your gender. It's your Enneagram type. So. But it does mean that you would be wondering that question in your head, whereas no one else in the room is probably wondering that except you and Joe. Because I'm pretty sure you guys are both melons. You know? So, there could be a couple of people that are kind of confused. They'd be confused in a different way. They'd say, is that okay? Or, is this right? Or, I can't really see the difference. Different responses. Okay? Insecurities. Almost all insecurities come from one source. I want to explore this a lot more now that I know what I know, because this is a concept I created a long time ago. And I love it, and I've lived by it for a long time. But all insecurity pretty much comes from one source. This is another reason why it's important to understand rapport. And that source is unacceptance. Unacceptance. All insecurities pretty much come from unacceptance in one way, shape, or form. We don't belong. doing one thing, so we do something else. We create insecurity about the thing that we naturally want to do. Unacceptance. This means when you're made to be felt unaccepted, you create a massive insecurity. But also that when you don't accept somebody, you create in them a massive insecurity. This is one of the reasons why rapport is so important. Because whenever you accept someone for what they're feeling, and you emote back to them, and you get transfer, and they trust you because you've accepted them. Whereas some people would have seen the opening and stabbed them. Seen the chink in the armor, as Johnny used to say. The chink in the armor. That one little crack that you got, and just laser target a spear right into it. That's going to make you go, man, I need better armor. That you don't need better armor. You need to get rid of your armor. So no one even thinks about throwing a spear at you. Right? So, of course, if you feel unaccepted in a lot of areas of your life, you'll have a lot of insecurities, you have a lot of negative belief systems that are outdated that you need to recreate and strengthen. That's important. Guys, put away your phones. See a few people with their phones out on their phones.
I'm actually writing stuff down.
Oh, are you? Okay. Do you have one piece of paper? Because that's to me easier.
I can save it on here and like.
Okay, do you think? So, let's talk about love versus in love. Love versus in love. Something that took me a long time to understand. Something I was very bitter about for a long time too. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. Love you, but I'm not in love with you. People are going to resonate with that statement. You've either said it, or heard it, or heard someone who said it. Everyone's come in contact with this, and nobody knows what it means. I'll tell you what it means right now, unless you've been to my class already, in which case you probably do. Loving someone means you have rapport with them. That's all it means. When you build rapport, you create love. You love your friends. You love your mom. You love hot wings. You don't have rapport with hot wings. But you love them. You love lots of things. But you're not in love with them. You're not in love with your mom, I don't think. I'm in love with your mom. We both can't be in love with your mom. It's not going to work out. So, the difference here is that rapport is one section, 1/3 of being in love. Rapport is love, but love is 1/3 of being in love. You can almost look like you got like I and in, or two different parts to this. You've got like three components. Being in love is all about what this next section that Kevin is handing out currently to everybody. It's about the handout.
Traffic signs.
Traffic signs, yield. You look at it upside down.
Dude, I know you played Zelda.
I did play Zelda actually.
This is upside down.
Typhus.
Yeah.
That's me. You know, I've had that burned in my brain. Is that?
You're supposed to hold it.
You're supposed to hold it like that?
Press play.
Alright guys, it's a triangle. I don't know, why are you so fascinated? Come on. A triangle. I swear to God, some things. You don't talk about anything. Hey look, a triangle. Oh my God, it's a blank piece of paper. It's like something that could be infinite. And like, who knows what could happen? Let's talk about things that can happen. It could be a boat. It could be a ship. Why am I on the boat? Can I be on the boat with you? I love boats. I'm getting seasick, bleh. Come on, guys. All right. All right. So this is called kind of a crazy name. The consummate love triangle. Originally it was called the triangular theory of love. Two M's. Originally it was called the triangular theory of love. Originally created by a man named Robert Sternberg in the 80s. Robert Sternberg was a psychologist, relationship psychologist. And when I originally got it, I thought it was all wrong. Probably because he's a censor type or something that I didn't get, or a judger type, and I just didn't communicate the same way he did. So I rewrote the whole goddamn thing, and then realized after I rewrote the whole thing, it was just a more descriptive version of his. So it's a very descriptive version of the original, which really was good. But I've actually been able to expand upon it a lot, so I think you guys will really appreciate my expansions. So the consummate love triangle says that at 3 different points, if we have all 3 points, we have in love or consummate love. So in the center, you write in love. Just consummate love. Full love. So, one corner is emotional. Emotional. We used to say emotional attraction, but that really gets people confused because attraction is curiosity, and that's not really what it is. So it's emotional. The emotional pillar, the emotional corner of the consummate love triangle. This is what you get if you have love. Someone says, I love you. It means that you've got the bottom right corner of the consummate love triangle. Doesn't mean anything else. That's all it means. Let's go further. Up here, this used to be sexual, but now I'm going to go to physical. Physical corner. Like physical attraction, right? Physical connection. I want that. Sexual falls in that category. You have physical, the physical corner, consummate love triangle. You have 2 pieces at the top, and then you have the bottom. Here. So this is love too. Still love. You're having sex with someone that you love, which is great. But you're not in love yet. This is the big confusion. Most people think that they're in love if they have both these things. Joe and Adonis, especially you 2 lovers up there. Joe looked at him like, I love her. The final, the one that we typically overlook, is logical. The logical corner of the consummate love triangle. The very elusive, hard to define, hard to see corner. One that doesn't make you feel too good when you look at it sometimes. The one that tells you yes or no, that you always ignore. That's the logical quadrant, corner. So let's look at this in a little bit more detail. Of course, I immediately said, what if I have one of each? Or 2 of each rather, and not all 3? Well, it's a good question, Josh. Here's the answer. If you have physical attraction and emotional connection, you have hopeless romantic love. Sound familiar, Adonis and Joe? The reason why you have both of those typically is because of the emotion that you experience naturally, ultimately, which is great. Celebrate that about yourself because it is your superpower as well. But understand its weakness. That's the weakness, right? So when you're physically attracted to somebody, you may already be in your head 2/3 of the way there before they're even 1/3 of the way there. You fall in love quickly. And that's the reason why. That's okay. That's a beautiful thing, in fact. You do need to be able to recognize the in love that you're feeling is not actually in love. Hopeless romantic love is called hopeless because it is hopeless. There's no logical corner. There's no logical reason for you guys to be together, and you will go against all odds to make it happen. I can do this. I'll do whatever it takes. I will change myself. Like, it's something I don't like. I'll change my gender role. Do whatever you want. I just want this to be true. That's how it feels. But it's called hopeless romantic because you're ignoring the part that says, in the back of your head that says, this isn't going to work, man. It's not going to work. You know it's not going to work. Enjoy it while you have it. And you do. Enjoy it while you have it, of course. Don't want to think about it. I don't think about it. So, continue. You have logical and emotional connection, and logical viewpoint of your relationship. You have friendship. You have a little thing called friendship. So, if you are, especially if you are bottom right quadrant, and you're going to be using some of the techniques that were outlined by Milton earlier, you're a super framer, or if you're a super connector, this is going to be very important to you, because this tells you that if you don't want to, if you want to create friendship, all you have to do is go about doing what you naturally do, but don't fixate on how hot they are. Don't even think about it. Don't even care about how hot people are or how sexually attractive they are. You have to just put that out of your mind completely. In fact, you have to base how attractive they are on something that you can't immediately find out, like Milton did. Which is that if you're really hot immediately, Milton goes, oh, that's the red flag. That's smart. Because if Milton has his system for this, it says he needs to be friends in the beginning. If he sees a bunch of hot girls and immediately creates this corner, it's over for him. Because as soon as he builds rapport, if he has logical attraction there and he builds rapport, he's going to jump straight to there and he's going to be in love. Even if he supplies emotional connection on his own, in his own head, which you can do without the other person at all. A lot of people will do this as well, especially people who are hopeless romantic. So, that's hopeless romantic love, that's friendship. Over here, if you have physical attraction and logical attraction, but no emotional, logical connection, but no emotional connection, then you have what's called superficial love. Yep. Fuck buddy, for lack of a better term. Superficial love. Someone who's just there at the right place, in the right time, and you're physically attracted to them. What's their name? You don't quite remember.
Amen.
It's kind of elusive. What do they like? Who cares, really, what they like? They like me. That's cool.
They're like hot.
They like sex. So do I. We have that in common. And when they try to get close to us, what do? Whoa! Back off. When we try to get close to them, what do? Whoa! Back off. If you've ever been on either side of that, then you know that you had superficial love. Usually, since you know that you can supply this corner, the game changes a little bit, doesn't it? If you can supply this corner, that means the only thing you really need is to look at her, see if she's hot, and then figure out the logistics as to whether or not it's possible to fall in love. And then you choose. I'm going to build rapport with you. So I'm going to fall in love with you. And all of a sudden, love is not so magical, is it? This is the scary part. Especially for the melons in the room. People who are the melons, the melancholy. Because the concept of creating love means that you'll be aware of the fact that you did it. You won't be caught up in the sensation of it as it happens. Because most of the sensation is you being lost, wondering, what's going to happen, what's going to happen, what's going to happen. Whenever you answer that, what's going to happen? Oh, I'll tell you. Oh, shit. Okay. I got a lot of extra time now, I guess. Sit around and do something else in my head. Okay. It's one of those things you can't unknow, of course.
It's kind of like knowing the ending of the movie.
It's kind of like knowing the end of the movie. Actually, it's kind of like, anyone ever played Sonic the Hedgehog?
How was that?
Has anybody ever gotten to debug mode? It's a code. There's a code where you can go and you can actually add stuff to the game and then start the game, and it's like a billion bad guys running around and kill them all. And it goes like 1 frame every 3 seconds. Frames. Because it's so overloaded with stuff going on. When I started playing the game like that, I got really bored real fast. Because I could do whatever I wanted to. Oh, there's a set of rules, and you have to follow the other rules that you can't control. Things are very simple for you and fun, and exciting, and it's a challenge. Once you can understand the rules and you can control it, sometimes it's not so fun anymore. By the way, anybody ever get the gold Sonic code?
Oh yeah,
That was the jam.
Super Sonic.
Starts running and he just floats off the ground.
The geek meter is going way up.
Yeah. That's true. You want to talk though, get your own geeky stuff. Yep.
So if someone is a melon, I know a guy who's a melon, and
Yeah. What a jerk.
overly sensitive to that stuff. Is that guy potentially lying to himself? Thinks he has a fuck buddy?
Well, anybody is potentially lying to themselves, really. I mean, you can't say just because you're a melon, you're potentially lying to yourself. But, I mean, whoever you're talking about.
I was gonna say me, but when I say me, I wonder what at this point.
Wait, what'd you say?
At this point, everyone knows who I am, but at the beginning of the class, people didn't know that I was a melon. I
Right.
guess.
Well, you didn't either, really.
And that's why I naturally did that.
Yeah. Okay, so if you think you have superficial love, it's probably something that takes a lot of effort for you to keep together. So, and that's okay, you know. But it may be you just challenging yourself to do it subconsciously. You might be going, let me see if I can keep this out of the emotional space at all, just to see where you live. You know, do I live in a space where I'm owned by my emotions? That's the question you want to ask yourself. It's a question you want to answer. It's probably why you're doing it. Now you may screw it up, of course. Screw it up by screw up. I mean, you may try to create emotional connection. It's not really screwing it up. That's falling in love, which is great. But if you don't want to fall in love with that person, say she's not your ideal physical type, then you want to keep, this is all ringing completely true. You want to keep from falling in love with her, so you want to keep from being that emotional.
It's worse than that. What I think is happening, Matt knows this person, I think she naturally had this toy on the inside, although on the outside she's the model chick, so it's like, her gender role is not congruent with mine.
Well, yeah, it might not be on the surface though, but even when you dig deeper and you reveal that she was a tomboy, there may be something even deeper than that that caused her to be a tomboy in the first place. It says she actually wants to play the female gender role. Possibly. I would explore it, so she may want to actually not be a tomboy either. She may identify with it, but she may not even want to be a tomboy either.
So I'm physically attracted to her in a picture, and then when we hang out, I'm attracted to her, and then she does some things that I find...
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about. Just the way she moves her body, it's too like this. To pick stuff up.
Yeah.
Way too.
So what's that?
Well, here's what I would do. I would ask her if she was interested in growing beyond that. I think I would actually come out and ask that question. I see that you move a lot, like, in a very aggressive way. Do you want to be aggressive all the time? Or would you prefer to be a little more submissive? If she's a natural, I don't want to be submissive. She probably will say, I don't want to be submissive. That's probably the reason why she is overcompensated. You have to make a decision. Is it worth all this time to put into it? And do you want, she may not even want to change, you know? If it was me, I would go, I ask questions like that, she's going to give you a pretty honest answer for the most part. She's not going to say whatever you want to hear, because she doesn't know what you're really asking. I had a really intense breakup recently before my current girlfriend. And one of the things I had to do is figure out whether or not our lives were going to, if we had logical attraction. This was big for me. Are our lives going in the same direction? Are our lives going in the same direction naturally? So I didn't say, hey, by the way, I'm trying to see if we're going to work out in the future. So do you want to go do something with me, like leave town and move to a new place? Because she would have said, yes, I do. Because holy crap, if I don't, then you're gone, right? Instead, and that doesn't work. What I need, then is it naturally going to go in the right direction? So I had to ask her, you know, I had to leave. So I was telling her, I have to leave and I have to go. I have to explore, I have to travel, to find my place. I have to find my place. Do you want to come with me on this journey to find my place? I'll be leaving. Told her all about I was leaving, moving, things like that. Originally she was like yes, because she knew that she said no, that would mean this was gone. But then she forgot about this. She thought about it, and then she came back and said, you know what, no, can't do it. No, I realized that I can't do it. You know? And so I was like, are you sure? Are you 100% sure about this? She said, 100% sure I can't go. I said, all right. I broke up with her. With her for a long time, and I broke up with her. Why? Because I knew at that point that I was actually in a hopeless romantic relationship. I knew then that's what it was. I didn't know before that because everything seemed aligned. But at that point, it was revealed to me. I finally checked in with my logical corner, and it wasn't there. And so I had to leave that relationship. Okay? And so, hold on.
Okay.
The part that you have now, the thing that you're going through, if she thinks that you're going to just make a relationship deciding moment or decision for this, right? She may say one thing or another, it doesn't really matter. She may actually, if she thinks the relationship's going to end, she may actually decide to open up about it a little more and go, okay, well maybe, you know? Because the truth is, you can drop an ultimatum here. Ultimatums are not necessarily a bad thing. Ultimatums can be your friend. It can be. But so many guys misuse them as like a domineering, ugly way of getting someone to do something they want. A controlling way. Ultimatums are there so that you can say, hey look, these are your two choices. These are your two ultimate choices. Because I hate this other thing you do. Not like I don't hate you, but I'm not attracted to this other thing that you do. So if you keep doing that, I'm going to continue to be not attracted to you. If I continue to be not attracted to you, I will break up with you. And the relationship will end. That's the truth. So what you'd say is, hey, I wonder if you're talking about this is kind of personal, so I know it might affect you, and I hope you're open to that. I hope we can work through this together. You move your body in a certain way, it shows me you're kind of aggressive. And I personally don't, it threatens sort of my manhood, the way I feel as a man whenever you do it. Not so much threatening to make me feel like I'm less of a man, but it just makes me feel like I can't be a man, that there's no place for me to be a man. You know? So, would you be interested or willing to work on being more dainty? Do you want to be more dainty? Because if you don't want to, I'll have to leave. Now. Right now, I'll have to leave. Now. Not like in 10 minutes, not in 10 days, not when it finally comes to me that I need to leave. I realize right now that if you don't stop, I'll have to leave. You know? Hold on. And so, whenever she hears that, she may get angry at you. She may go, I can't believe you're blah, blah, blah. And she may just say, leave then, because she feels scared. But if you set it up properly and you framed it properly like I just told you, open-minded, you know, then whenever you get to that point, she probably will be open about it. She'll go, well, she says, well, it's what I like, it's who I am. And she's really attached to this who I am, identifying with that kind of thing. You're probably going to have to go, okay, well, I think you're awesome, personally, and I will hook up with you all day. Anytime, any day of the week. Just keep hooking up and hanging out and having a good time and learning from each other. But you don't have to be, you know, keep looking for another guy, you know. When you find a guy better than me, just tell me and I'll bugger off, you know. If you want to be with only him, turn it into a polyamorous relationship, you know. But if she says, you know what, I've always done that and I hate that about myself and I really want to be feminine and fragile, I just don't know how to. You go, do you mind if I help you? Can I help you? And she goes, yes, you can. Thank you. then you may have a shot at being in love there.
And it's also interesting because I think it helped me figure out my gender role right now.
Is it the male gender role? I thought so. That's how you act too. Like a lot of things are driven by provide, protect. You know, when it comes to emoting, you're very good at doing it. But if I give something to you, it's very difficult for you to take it. Not so much that you don't. It's not that you don't want to take it. It's almost that you're like, look, Josh, you can't put any more water in my already full glass.
Yes.
The cup is full.
That's the way.
Mm-hmm. So what were you gonna ask her?
Oh, I was gonna say, the situation my girlfriend described to you 2 days ago, whatever. Pretty much, it's in the hopeless romantic love stage. So, the ultimate would be, look.
Well, we haven't gone over logical attraction yet. So I don't know if you know what logical attraction really is. So why don't we go over that now?
Sure.
This is kind of the biggest thing really for us to understand. Logical attraction is all the logistics around making a relationship make sense. Makes sense. Doesn't make logical sense to be in this relationship. Sense. Something that doesn't typically enter into a relationship at all. Sense. Sense. But it's a big part of a relationship. Big part. And it's typically going to be your job to decide whether or not it's there. Unless, you said if you explore this more and you still are pretty steadfast on the empathy gender role, then you're going to be kind of switched on this. You're going to actually, your job is going to be to provide this corner. The person you're with is going to have to naturally provide this corner. You're probably going to coach them on that because they're probably not going to be very good at it in the beginning. So keep that in mind. Yeah. And again, I know you know this already, but I just want to stress that's completely fine. It's good. It's good that you can recognize that you can live into it. Otherwise, it's fighting it forever, which doesn't work. You know. So logical connection. These are things like the big one, the big T word, timing. Ugh, what a big word. Timing, jeez. Timing kind of overarches everything. Life direction. What are your goals and aspirations and where do you see yourself in 20 years? Great, not me. I hate that shit. Bye. That's basically what it's like.
Nice.
Nope. Because if you do change and you go, alright, no, there's something to be said, obviously, for sacrifice, really. Giving. You go, all right, you know what? I can learn to like that thing that you, right? It's okay. There are some things, like the direction of your life, your purpose, probably has to do with your Enneagram type. Probably having to do with your Enneagram type. Something, because your life will be about feeling, probably, if you are a type 4, if you are. Then, if her life's about devoid of feeling, like she was a type 3, we don't not devoid of feeling, but our goals in life are not to feel good, or really to feel at all, anything except successful. Especially if she was a type 9. Type 9s can't make a decision on anything. And she's like, well, I don't want to do what you want to do, but I don't want to do the opposite either. And you know what's going to happen is they're just going to sit there forever and make no decision when you're going to have to act. If your life direction is like that, and you're going in two different directions, and you recognize that, it's only a matter of time before that spark can't reach anymore. No matter how high the voltage is, at some point it's not going to reach anymore. So life direction. Another big one that steps in the way, though it's not as big of a deal for a lot of people, because eventually people are willing to bend this core belief system, is religion. Or spiritual beliefs, of course. Spiritual beliefs. These are core beliefs that we create that sort of drive us in a lot of ways. If you have any kind of core belief that isn't going to match well, you're probably going to have to talk about it. If you disagree on that core belief, it probably won't work out. So finding those as a person that wants to play the male gender role, figuring these things out in a relationship, are going to be your top priority. your top priority. Figure this stuff out. She's hot, but is the timing right? What's her life direction? What are her spiritual beliefs? What are her core beliefs? What are her core beliefs and what's her situation like right now? Is the timing right? How confident is she? What are her core beliefs? How many positive core beliefs does she have that are active, that are serving her? She has very few that are serving her and a lot that are not. She's going to be very insecure. And if you're very insecure, you're going to be drawn to her. You're going to be drawn to her. Because we attract people who have similar insecurity levels to us. We attract people who have similar insecurity levels to us. This is important. Very important. So if you work on yourself and your own insecurities and you break those down, you're naturally going to attract more confident women. Are you going to attract hotter women? To a certain degree you will. But at some point, you're going to get so confident, you're going to realize that most hot women are not. You're probably more likely to go up in age than in looks. Age. And like older women. Like 90.
That's our joke.
Hot, wrinkly grandma.
Yeah. 55-year-old. Lower limit.
No, there's no. My friend had a really great. I used to date a stripper for a little while, a long time ago, back before I realized that I don't want to date strippers. And so, she had this rule for life. The rule was, I will sleep with any man on the face of the planet, no matter how short, tall, fat, thin, ugly, attractive, old, young, as long as he is one thing, hot. Hot. I was like, that's really cool, actually. That's really cool. That's the only real stipulation I have too, but I have all this other crap in my head. Hot to me, though, means confident and a couple other things. Confident and physically attractive. But everything else is just not really real. I just made that stuff up, really. You know? So that was a really cool philosophy that she had. I'll sleep with any man in the world as long as he's hot. He can be 90 years old, but if he's hot, who cares? That's what she's thinking. Who cares? You know? I really adopted that a lot, that mentality. That made me realize that I was being extremely judgmental for no reason about people. Like, why? Why am I going, oh, you're blonde, I don't like blondes. Well, is she hot to you? You can't judge whether someone's hot based on her hair color. You can't do that. You just have to go, there are no stipulations. The only stipulation for me to sleep with you or hang out with you or date you is that you're hot. And if I can find something hot about you, guess what? Game on. Game on. And as you grow as a man, you'll find different things hot. Because you're going to attract women who are more confident.